Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie. I'm going to shake up some ketones, and I have a thought for you today. So tell me where you're tuning in from. We are in Minnesota. If you're brand new, you wouldn't know that, but most of you know that. So we're tuning in from Minnesota. We are moving our life to Florida, and we're super excited. I had somebody send me a message. It was super sweet because I get mixed emotions on what people tell me to do. People love to tell me what to do. As soon as you put yourself out on a platform, there are people that hate you and love you, and people love to tell me all of the mistakes that I'm making. Just kidding. And encourage me. Anyways, I had a sweet message this morning of a sweet girl that said, "Hey, I love that you're moving. I think it's amazing. I love that you're doing some great things for your kids." And so, anyways, you know what? Be an encouragement to somebody today. I'm going to shake up my ketones. You might be like, are you just getting up? No, I've been up for hours. I just drink water and electrolytes in the morning, and I try not to drink my ketones for a few hours until I wake up. Not just ketones in general. My husband was watching a guy on YouTube, and this guy said that the first thing in the morning you should do is you should make sure that you have water and electrolytes before you have caffeine. Now, my caffeine comes in the form of ketones. Some of you are coffee drinkers. And he talked all sciencey, and he talked about how your body needs to be hydrated, and you don't want your body going into caffeine mode, although ketones in general are super great. I get having a hype of coffee. This is not what I was going to talk about. Anyways, I'm shaking up my ketones. I have not just gotten up, although my face may look like it. I'm totally rambling. So, have you ever, I had a message sent to me this morning, yesterday, and this is why I'm going to talk about something that I think is super important. I had a message sent to me, and she's becoming a great friend. She's a promoter on my team. And she said, hey, she goes, man, I'm going to have a good day, but I got to the gym and my trainer canceled on me. And I don't think she was like frustrated, but bummed, right? My trainer canceled on me. And she was like, ah. And so what I love is that she didn't just go home because her trainer canceled on her. I said, it's fine. Just go do something that your trainer did, or go walk on the treadmill, and she did, right? But that brings me to the comment or the phrase I wanted to share with you today. And that is this. I wrote it in the header of this video. I think oftentimes we can let our circumstances, our emotions, the people around us, our closest friends, anybody, dictate how we feel or the actions that we take. Here's what I want you to just hear for a second, and then decide what you do in your life or lack thereof because of what other people might think. Well, here's what it is. You have to learn how to identify what you can control and what you can't control. So release the things that you can't control so that you can control the things that you can control. I read that, or I heard that yesterday. Let me rephrase it. And I heard, I have to be okay with things that I cannot control and understand the things that I am in control of. I say all of that because oftentimes, if there are things in your life that stress you out, or there's things that cause you to not do something, make an excuse, if there's other people, guess what? In life, there are things that you physically can't control. So let me bring it down to even a more understanding. You can't control if your trainer cancels on you. Does that just mean you give up for that day because your trainer's not there, so you go home? Or you go, oh no, you know what? I can't control that person is sick, or for whatever reason they didn't come or meet me. I'm going to keep going. I can't control other people's emotions. So if somebody gets frustrated at me, it could be my closest friend or family member. It could be somebody that's so frustrated with me, but if I know that it has nothing to do with me, I keep moving on with my day. Oftentimes we let other people's circumstances and other people's excuses or other people's emotions dictate how we feel. And if you do that, you get stressed out, you feel like you can't go do the things that you want to do, and therefore you make an excuse, or you quit, or you just don't do what you want to do. Is this making sense? I was reading it this morning and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I had this sweet friend send me a message and she was like, my trainer canceled on me. Guess what? You actually can't control that. But you 100% in your life can control your actions, your emotions, whether you decide to go after your goals, the excuses that you make. Like, as soon as you understand that, like, it's legitimately the phrase that I just said. As soon as you in your head can compartmentalize, these are the things that I'm in control of and these are the things that I'm not, you can keep moving forward no matter what. Does that make sense? Where you can make the right choices for your life and make the right choices for your health. And, you know, oftentimes, I'll give you an example. And this is a couple of years ago, but it just popped into my mind. My husband was doing carnivore. And carnivore is all meat. And he was doing really good. He was like, 60 days in, 60 days of carnivore. And we went to a holiday party. And at the party, there was a salad, but that would meet and if I was doing low carb, I was like, this is great. Because anytime I go somewhere, regardless if it's a birthday party or we're celebrating a holiday, if I don't physically bring something, then I have to be okay with eating what somebody makes. Thankfully, most people have vegetables and salad. So if you're being really strict, I'm getting to a point. Usually things work for somebody that's doing low carb. If you're doing carnivore, it's a little bit different, right? So what my husband did is we had lasagna, which was very meaty, which was good, and we had a salad. So you want to know what he did? Because he did not control the situation because we didn't make the food, is he took, you guys, he took a piece of lasagna and he lifted up the noodle and he scraped out all the meat. And then what he did is he did have some lettuce, he had some salad, and he scraped off all of the meat and the cheese onto the bed of lettuce, and he took off the noodles. It was so funny. And I just say that because I was like, I think people get frustrated with food, right? They get frustrated if they're doing really good and they go to a party and they're like, there's nothing I can eat, so I'm just gonna binge and do whatever I want. They let their emotions and the lack of either planning beforehand or just frustrated that, like, this doesn't fit my diet goals. You chose to go to the party and you chose not to eat before you went, so you have to be adaptable. You get to control your own emotions and your own choices. Like my husband, he's like, all right, I'm doing real good. He just goes, I'm going to be adaptable. I'm not going to eat this part. I'm going to scrape it all off and put it on the salad. It was so funny. Nobody was offended. It was actually super funny because he controlled how he felt. He was adaptable. And then he made the best choice possible in that moment that he wanted to make. Does this make sense? Here's the thought for today. You have to go as you're going through life. And let's just say you get frustrated about something. Make sure you put it into either two buckets. I can control this and I can change it or become adaptable, or this has nothing to do with me. I can't control anything in this environment or this situation, but I don't have to let my emotions run ragged just because I'm not in control of this bucket. Does that make sense? Because in general, when we let stressful situations frustrate us, when we let other people's actions or we take on things that we physically can't control, I'm going to tell you, that is when people eat their emotions. That is when people go down a rabbit hole and they either quit something, they get angry, they get frustrated, they turn to food, and they just let it all go. So as soon as you can go, I've got two buckets. I control bucket, I can't control bucket. Which bucket am I in? Where can I be adaptable? And what is the best action for me to take in this moment? And that, my friends, is what was on my mind. I feel like it sounds kind of complicated. It's not complicated, and I know that you know it's not. I just feel like I didn't deliver it very well. But in my head, it's delivered in my head. So here's what I want you to know. Here on the Keto Mom page, I will answer any question that you have. So if you're like, can you just talk about net carbs? Yes, I can. Can you tell me how I should get started? 100%. Can you tell me why you think intermittent fasting is great? Yes, I can help you with that. I need you to tell me what you need. So if you've reached a point in your diet, or you're just getting started, or you need help with something, either send me a message or ask the question below and I'll send you a message. I love mornings to help you understand, or to give you something higher level, to give you something that's going to bring you an awareness in life, something that's going to help you in your whole life, not just like go eat some eggs for breakfast or intermittent fast. I will help you with that. I also truly believe that I was just talking to my husband, and then we have a friend named Brian who just came over, and here's a completely different topic, but I think it's very interesting. We were just chatting this morning, and we were talking about, well, just having an awareness in life, right? And we were talking about, oh my goodness, so many things. I feel like I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. You want to know what? I know. We were talking about school, and we were talking about his daughter, our friend Brian. His daughter said to him, Dad, and she's going into junior high, and she says, Dad, I know how to do algebra. I know how to read very well. I know how to comprehend how I'm reading. She goes, I know all these things. I don't want to do anything in the science world. She's like, I know how to find answers. Why do I have to learn whatever it is she was asking about? And he's like, we have to do it for the paper. I mean, basically. Like, you get to learn how to work through different scenarios and make decisions, but he's like, it's a little frustrating. So we had this conversation about school, hence why I homeschool. But that's a side note. We were talking about how many people I meet, or I have met over 8 years on the Keto Mom page, and how many adults do not read. They don't do any self-development. They don't do any higher level education. I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about how many people say to me, I haven't read a book since college. I haven't read a book since high school. I haven't worked on my mindset. They don't even know what that means. And I said, it's because we've ruined it in school, because we were forced to read things like To Kill a Mockingbird. And don't get mad at me if I don't want to read that book. But we were forcing kids at a young age to do things that legitimately don't line up with their passions or their gifts or their talents. And I'm not going to get on a rant about school. What I'm going to say is this. If you personally, as an adult, have not picked up a good book, and I say a good book, like a book that's going to help elevate your thinking and your understanding, because you're like, I hated school, or I didn't do that well, or you subconsciously haven't done it because it brings you back to the place where it didn't bring you joy. Let me tell you something. Working on you and your mindset and your awareness in life will bring you joy, because it's going to elevate you to go, oh my goodness, I never looked at life like this. Oh, I've never seen life like this. Oh my goodness. Like, I had no idea. Oh, there are books out there to help me be a better person. It's not just like, yes, Brittany says, The Tale of Two Cities, worst book ever. Oh my goodness. The amount of books that people make their kids read, not people, teachers. I don't do any of it. My kids read books that are very self-developed. My kids will read books by Ed Milet, Erwin McManus, Craig Groeschel. Like, our books that we're reading, I'm just letting you know, parents, if you want to do something to help your kids right now, give them a good book to help them be a better person. Help find books that will elevate their thinking. Ask them good questions. Like, listen, that was totally a rant, but I know why adults have not worked on themselves, their mindset, awareness, or understanding anything outside of what they're learning at work, is because they hated it so much growing up. Help your kids learn to love to read, and that comes with learning books that are going to elevate their thinking, and you as well. So I started doing lives in the morning, and we were just going through books because I want to help you understand that there's some incredible gifts and talents that you have inside of you, and there is incredible gifts and talents that maybe you didn't even know. Maybe you stopped dreaming. Maybe you didn't know that you could work on your mindset. You didn't know that you could believe differently. You didn't know that as soon as you have an awareness around that, it's going to change your whole life around lots of things. And it starts with reading, or it starts with listening to good podcasts. It starts with following people that have gone before you. It starts with different thinking, different, looking at different perspectives, not maybe how things were before for you, but where things can be and where you can go. So, all right, that was totally random, but it was a conversation we had this morning. And I thought, yeah, I get it. My girls do the same. Our daughter, our oldest daughter, we're going to graduate a year early, and then she's going to do cosmetology school for her senior year. But she's always saying things to me like, I don't understand why I have to memorize this. And I say, well, that's the old way of believing. I believe that kids need to be taught how to find answers, how to read, how to have perspective, how to solve problems, not memorize things. So I don't know who needed to hear that. Probably none of you, but myself. Maybe there's another homeschool mom on here. All right, don't hate me. That was random. Here was what I said. Here's what I said to this in this video. Control what you can control, and understand that there are things that are out of your control, and let it go. And don't let it affect you and your own emotions. That's it. All right. If you need recipes, KetoMomSecrets.com. If you need help, send me a message. Ask a question below. KetoMomSecrets.com. I love it. Yes. Okay, there's a homeschool mom on here. Hey, we still have a sale going on. It ends today on my mom fuel, so ketones. What I shook up earlier, the sale will end today. So if you want to get 25 to 27% off, oh, thank you, Audrey. You're sweet. If you want a sale on ketones, if you need help, if you want a tool that helps you with your energy and your focus and your appetite control, yes, it works. I've been drinking it for 8 years. If you don't want it, don't drink it. If you want it, it helps me and I love it. Just post sale in the comments and we'll chat. Listen, I love a good sale. My sister owns a couple boutiques and I go shopping with her often when we're together. And she always is like, if there is a sale, then I'm basically earning money. It's just how she buys a lot of clothes. But there is a sale, post sale in the comments if you want to know more about what ketones do. And I'll teach you about them, how they can help you, and you can decide if you want to grab some. Otherwise, thanks for tuning into the random day. I am going to decide if we're going to go through a new book. We are moving. So once we get moved, I will come on with a better thought and a better question for you to work on your mindset every single morning. And I'll choose a new book to go through once we get moved and done and in our home. So it'll be end of September. But I will always come on and give you a thought and always help you with your food. So reach out. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dealing with my randomness. It's going to be a great day. Bye, everybody.